All right, hello everyone. Welcome to this Kubernetes 123 release meeting. This is week 13, November 17th, 2021. My name is James Navarak. I am a release lead shadow and will be your host for this meeting. May I remind everyone before we begin that this meeting, as with all Kubernetes meetings, is covered by the CNCF Code of Conduct, so please do refer to that for your interactions with everyone here today. I'd just like to start by moving into a handful of open discussion items. Quite a lot has happened since yesterday. There's a couple of things from Ray, just a few things to mention here. Release 123.0-beta.0 will be cut today, our very first beta release, and code freeze has begun. We went through code freeze and started the process last night. Ray, I think you wanted to talk about the exception requests as well.
Yeah, so we have two approved exception requests to code freeze. I've listed both of them. They both have asked for 3 additional days. That's Friday, and both of them are alpha features. They're both feature gated, low risk. So both of those have been approved. Moving to the next item, there has been a new exception request in the last 30 minutes or so. That's for the add gRPC probe to the liveness readiness startup probe, and that is still haven't had a chance to review it, so wanted to bring it up. There is an open code KKPR that was approved but failed due to a non-blocking test job, so it's blocked for the merge. So just want to ask for additional feedback. Please add your feedback to the Slack channel or to the Slack thread on the SIG release channel. They are asking for 3 additional days, so that's end of Friday. And we do have a SIG node chair approval or +1 for that as well. So we'll leave a few minutes for that to just soak in the Slack channel. Moving on, there is a ping from the SIG release Slack channel from SIG Network. It's about a KKPR they have linked here. Looks like a bug fix. Looks like it was approved, but looks like it just got merged. So let me see, how did it merge? It's got a milestone on it. So it looks like it was a bug fix. So this likely won't be in the beta cuts, but it'll be in the RC cuts. I don't know if the beta cut has started.
Not yet. It will actually it will be included because we haven't started the release process yet.
Okay, great. All right, so it looks like that bug fix will be there. All right, and that's it for me. I have some more during my update. I want to open this up to Eddie, who has an open discussion topic.
Sure.
Yes, Eddie, please.
So last release cycle, someone on my team, not naming names or pointing fingers, but someone accidentally misunderstood how the milestone tag worked and tossed it on a PR, and it merged while we were in release code freeze. I would like to know very specifics so I can share with the team on when do we use the milestone tag for open PRs, and at this point, now that we're in code freeze, what is considered a release blocking bug and that sort of thing.
All right, so I'll go first, but anyone feel free to jump in. So we use that milestone for KKPRs for enhancements that we have approved code freeze, any exceptions to code freeze, and any end amount of days. So they are given. So right now, since code freeze is in effect, KKPRs with the milestone will get merged into the KK master branch currently. So we do have that milestone saved for saved for those exceptions. In terms of release blocking, if any KKPRs that fixes any failures on master blocking in the CI tests, that's one. That's, to me, that's one of the main criteria if it is actually release blocking. Anyone else wants to add any more feedback?
No, I think that's mostly it. It's PRs to approved exceptions and release blocking issues and bugs.
Yeah. So Eddie, is this tied to any enhancements that should have an exception request?
So that's always an interesting one because the release team only thinks in enhancements for a lot of things. And I've seen this over many releases that I've been a part of. But we just have like regular life cycle bugs that get discovered that need to be fixed and shipped. So case in point, there was a PR that Brian and I were working on, and we got it to the point where it was ready to merge last night, but there was a reviewer bandwidth for client Go was kind of tied up. So they were able to take a look, and they actually tagged it in, again, not naming names and not blaming anyone, but they tagged it and they put it in the milestone as a bug fix this morning, and it merged. I want to know, like, where do these types of things fall in, right? Because I, as a lead, I think I have the ability to tag something as a milestone.
Yeah, I believe SIG chairs have the ability to tag things in the milestone. There's also milestone maintainers file.
Yeah, anybody that has milestone maintainer is able to drop this in, which can be a problem. I think things like this make sense. More broadly, like if you are a milestone maintainer and you are going to apply that, think, does this need to be in 123.0 or could this be in 123.1? You know, at this point, I think we want to make sure that we're not merging anything that is going to potentially degrade things. So we just want to make sure that those things are needed right now. If it's a nice bug fix, but isn't critical for 123.0, then you know, like maybe consider 123.1.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, does that answer your question then? Do you have anything else, Eddie?
It does. If anything specific comes up, I'll definitely reach out. I just want to give because we also have some new leads on the team who haven't been yelled at before. So I want to make sure they don't get yelled at.
Okay, excellent. Well, we appreciate you coming on. Thank you for that question. Does anyone have any further questions or comments on this point?
I do, but it's not specific for Eddie. It's a generic, it's like a general question based on this occurrence. So what happens if a bug comes in this way and there are some docs changes that make sense for it? You know, typically like a one-liner, like, oh, this works wrong and the configuration's wrong. So how do we track that as a team? Like
that's a little tricky one. So for bug fixes, we don't necessarily track bug fixes in the release team. So most of the time, any documentation fixes that is associated with that bug fix goes to the main branch of K websites. We had one recently with the cron job, cron_tz. It's not really a bug, but it's an unsupported feature of cron jobs that just came about, and we wanted to document it. So that went into the main branch for K website. So something like that would go into since we don't track bugs or daily bugs that might go into KK master, so we'll add them to the main branch of K website.
Okay, and do all the bug fixes land in the main branch too, like in KK?
Typically, from what I've seen,
I think unless it's only for an older version.
yes, and also there's things that are
sense.
cherry picked back as well. So there was one
That
this
makes
morning.
sense. Okay, cool. This totally aligns with what I assumed. I just wanted to make sure that I understood, like there wasn't something where we missed or there's a gap where we could miss and have inconsistency. So that's perfect. Okay, thanks.
All right. Anything further on this point from anyone? No. Okay, excellent. Again, thank you so much, Eddie, for coming along and for the discussion there. Does anyone have any further open discussion items before we move on to the sub-project updates? No, doesn't appear so. So, all right, let us move on to enhancements, our first subject with Grace.
All right, so as James and Ray mentioned, our code freeze was yesterday. We still have a couple items to be followed up on, a couple exceptions. But right now we're green with 45 tracked, 20 alpha, 14 beta, 11 stable, and 0 deprecations. That is all.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Grace. Does anyone have any questions for enhancements?
I do have some additional items to update about enhancements. I'll do it during my updates. It's just with the enhancements that we are to follow up with.
Sure. Okay, if that's all, thank you again, Grace. Let's move on to CI Signal with Leonard.
Hello, everyone. So our current status is yellow. From yesterday's report, we had a couple of passing new jobs, basically in blocking, so that's good. Today we also had a failing job, but that's sorted, so everything for the release cut should be fine from our end. In master blocking, it's kind of similar, so one passing more, and that's also good. Today or yesterday evening, we requested to SIG Infra to make some changes to the infrastructure to push the CI Signal report tool a bit further. So that's something that I think Rajula added. And then just a general point that we pointed out also in the last couple of reports, that we currently are trying to figure out where we want to go with the CI Signal tool. So if you have like any feature requests or ideas, you can go to the project board and add your ideas. And next week in the release engineering meeting, we will discuss all the ideas and then, yeah, move on. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions or comments? No, okay, well, thank you so much, Leonard. Moving on, book triage. Ritu?
Hi. So we don't have any blocking issues and PRs. Our status is green. And from like important soon issues, like we have a couple of them, like in issues, we have one, and in PRs, we have two, and we are actively following on all three of them. And others also we are actively following from the team perspective.
Excellent, okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions or comments for book triage?
Just want to point out, since we are cutting beta today, that it's good that we don't have any zero critical urgent issues and PRs. So we're good.
Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. If that's all, then thank you so much. Moving on to docs with Jesse.
Hey, so we're remaining at yellow primarily because we still have 17 tracked PRs that need docs that do not have placeholders yet. The team is right now starting to ping authors. And we also have quite a few ready to review. So we're starting to work the checklist there, trying to find tech reviewers. The integration branch is healthy. There's a PR inbound that had no conflicts at all, which I was amazed by. So we're tracking same 44, 36 needs docs. The 8 none required we're pretty confident on now. So I guess it still could change. There's some of those that just we didn't get a response on. And then, yeah, things are starting to pick up a little bit. So that's good. So we're gonna, I think it's pretty obvious that these deadlines are not as hard and fast as you don't make the release if you don't get a placeholder in. So we're really gonna try and do our best to keep folks kind of, you know, on track, but we're being forgiving. Yeah, I think that's it. Anybody have any questions? Guidance, sympathy, anything like that?
All of the above.
Yeah. I suppose just to say, if you need any help chasing people, we're happy to give more pinging.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I think
we will holler.
Oh, I was going to say that since the placeholder deadline's tomorrow, that I'll take a look to see which ones have knots, and we'll spread out the you know, the lead shadows and myself. We could reach out on Slack to those who have not replied in GitHub, so we could do another touch for those enhancement owners to create that PR.
Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. But if you guys, if you all want to be looped in on that, we can share the load even more. But I don't think anybody's too overloaded with the number that we have. But yeah, I'll reach out and holler. I think that a lot of this is going to be like, if they don't reply, then who do we go to? When do we start pinging SIGs? That kind of stuff, which, you know, I think is just something we just have to play by ear a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I would actually start reaching out to SIGs tomorrow if the enhancement owner has not replied back. I'll send you an example from my reach out to SIG this morning for enhancements, and you could
Awesome.
tag the SIG chairs as well.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. Any further questions or comments? No. All right. Thank you very much, Jesse.
Just actually one second. I'm not sure if we want to call this out. Ronald Petty in the chat asked if we could zoom in on docs. I'm not quite sure what that meant, but I didn't want to walk away from it if it's not elsewhere in the agenda.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, it was just the Google Doc. There's like half the
Oh,
screen.
zoom in, literally zoom in. Got it.
Zoom in, zoom. It's meta.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thanks.
How's that?
Beautiful. Thank you.
Beautiful. All right. Okay. All right, I've lost my place. Right. Okay. Thank you so much, Jesse. Release notes, Cece.
Yes, so we're currently green, and the previous PR got merged for Alpha 4, and a follow-up PR will be raised soon, I guess, for the leftover commits in Alpha 4. And also I created an issue. We will like start the major SIMs collection process maybe today, since the code freeze is over. And I created an issue for tracking, and hopefully we will start to nudge 6. Yeah, like either today or tomorrow.
Yeah, that's excellent. Thank you so much. I know Ray and the other release shadows and myself are aware of that issue, so we're going to help with some chasing there.
Oh, thank you.
Any further questions or comments from anyone? No. Okay. Thank you so much, Cece. Moving on, comms, Karen.
Hey, so we are green. We are still waiting on 4 more blog drafts to come in. So I've listed those, and then we have 3 that do have drafts. And then I just synced with Jesse. So we're going to start on the release blog itself. I'll work on that with my team this week. And we're still working on the order of publishing dates. And I just emailed CNCF, but we are going to move the 1.23 release webinar to January 4th. And that should be it. I don't think we'll be moving that anymore. Yeah, that's on our end.
There is one caveat. So as most of you know, I am expecting a baby in January. Due date is January 16th. So, you know, it might come early. So just be aware that that might postpone the webinar in case it comes in early. You know, baby comes early.
Ray, you got to manage this. You got to like keep things on schedule.
Yeah, I gave a Jared ticket to my baby, but
okay, good. Thank you for that, Ode Karen.
James has no idea where to go with this.
I'm just going to move on. Any further updates? Any further questions or comments for Karen? Ideally not about babies. No. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for that update, Karen. Release branch management, Veronica.
Hello, sorry for the latency on my behalf. I'm all over the place since we're cutting a release today. So yeah, we're yellow. I initially put green, but since it has been a little bit rocky this time, I decided to go back to yellow. I mean, however, Taylor is being able to cut the release. He literally kicked off the process as we are speaking. So there was a failing job on master blocking this morning or earlier. I don't know what type zone I am anymore, but fortunately, thanks to the coordinated work of several people, we're back on track. And there are some discussions. I will link it here. Sorry for not linking this on time, but I was in other conversations regarding the same topics. But I will link this, the discussions on whether, sorry, some jobs might be better now seen as master informing rather than master blocking, but that is paradoxically not blocking Taylor's job right now. yeah, what else? You can follow the updates and release management. And we had problems with the new GitHub secondary rate limit. Adolfo offered two solutions, one permanent and one temporary. Both are merged, but in order to have the permanent solution functional and accessible to everyone, we have to go through the whole process of promoting everything, and we're on that still. So earlier today, we merged the temporary solution for that. And after I stop speaking, I'll link the PRs that Adolfo did for that. Thank you very much. And thanks to that, Taylor is able to continue today. So fingers crossed. I don't think there's anything else, but if you have any questions, let me know. Let us know.
All right. Thank you so much for the update, Veronica. Any questions or comments? No? Okay, well, thank you very much for that. Moving on, Jeremy.
Hey, everybody. I hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. No real updates from me other than continue to think about 124. We're only a few weeks away from this release ending, and then the holidays, and then we'll be starting again. So we need to start thinking about that ahead of time and kind of get ahead of the downtime. So think about somebody from your team that might be good to pick up the reins for 124. If you're interested, please speak to your leads. And then we'll start kicking that process off formally fairly soonish, just to try to get ahead of things. So we'll try to identify the emeritus advisor for that release and the release lead for that release, and then kind of kick it off from there. Also, if you have any topics for the retro, I think we have this as like a reoccurring topic, but definitely add them to the agenda for the retro if you have anything.
Cool. All right. Thank you so much, Jeremy. Any questions or comments from anyone? Nope. All right. Thank you so much. Release lead, Ray.
All right. So I want to bring up something that Veronica brought up. There was a CI job that was failing and master blocking in the middle of the night for me. So by the time I woke up, it was already resolved. So big thank you to Danielle, Dems, and Nabrun for getting that resolved as well, and to Signode. After that, we are going to send out an email to the community about code freeze being in effect. Let me go clear my throat. So that's going to go out in about 2 hours, just to have a work meeting after this. So that's just to inform the rest of the community that if they want any, if they do have an enhancement that was removed from the milestone, that they do need to file an exception if they want to, if they're close to that finish line and close to getting that KKPR approved. After the email, we did have a code freeze party last night after code freeze went into effect. We did have some takeaways. There was 5 enhancements that we need to follow up for, and I've listed all 5 here. The first one, auto remove PVCs created by stateful sets. That is the code PR is approved but needs an LGTM, and I saw that the enhancement owner did bring in additional reviewers, but I did see that there were comments. So it's not done yet, but we'll keep an eye on it. Second one, the optionally disabled node ports for service type load balancer that will not make 123. So we do need to remove that from the milestone. Third one, the support multiple cluster CIDRs that also has opted out of 123 and going into 124. So that also needs to be removed from the milestone and also from the tracking sheet. Third one, Kevin from the enhancement team will ask about the adding webhook extension to support CCM. And the last one, graduate HP API to GA, that looks like it's all good and set for 123. And we did have 4 enhancements that made code freeze, enhancements freeze exceptions, and they were approved. So three out of the 4 are good for 123. I don't know if by last night they still needed to be added to the tracking sheet. So I just wanted to place that there just so that we have a reference to it. That's it for enhancements for code freeze and the after code freeze follow-ups. Any questions or comments? All right, just want to review upcoming milestones today. We had code freeze yesterday, and today we're cutting the first and only beta release. Tomorrow is the docs placeholder PR deadline. So that's actually a pretty good number, to be honest with you, for the end of the release cycle that have not made placeholder PRs. So hopefully we'll get those last about 15 in by end of day tomorrow. Next Tuesday is a big day. We have test freeze docs ready for review as well. So a lot of docs have to be at a state that they can be reviewed. And then the first RC is cut. And with the cutting of the first RC, the first release candidates, we also create the release 123 branch and the release 123 jobs as well. CC mentioned that they were going to start the final draft release notes. I'm sorry, major themes, sorry. So we do start the final draft release notes when the first RC is cut as well. And that's also another milestone date for the blog. So we want to make sure that the release blog is at a good state. So that's Tuesday. Next week is also a big holiday week for folks in the US. It's the US Thanksgiving. So the Thursday, we have a US Thanksgiving holiday. I'm looking to cancel the Thursday release team meeting, but we also have the Friday release team meeting as well. I know in the past we've canceled the Thanksgiving meeting, so I'll probably do that. So I'll send a cancellation notice out today. And yeah, that's about it for me. Any comments or questions?
No? All right. Thank you so much, Ray. Thank you for all of your updates. Finally, I believe, we just have an update from scalability. I don't think we have any particular update, just green, unless anyone is here to speak from scalability. Nope. All right. In which case, does anyone have anything else to mention before we stop the recording? No. All right, then I will just end the recording.